Let's see if that'll do it. There we go. Now we're rolling on YouTube. So, actor Jeff Pride is with us. So, Jeff, tell us all about Jeff.
Yeah, man. So, real quick, I'm originally from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Salute.
And, yeah, Woo Pig Suey. And, so, yeah, man, I sort of knew in college that I wanted to be an actor. And so there was one producer in Arkansas that I met with, and he said, you can either be broken cold in New York or broken on the beach in LA. So I was like, yeah, all right. Let's go to LA. Sounds good.
So was it heads or tails?
So
I mean, did you flip the coin? And...
Honestly, like I wanted to go to New York originally, but after he said that, like what? I was 20 years old. Like what 20-year-old doesn't want to come out to Hollywood?
Right.
You know,
yeah.
like,
Exactly.
Palm
You can
trees,
either
girls
be on the beach or you can be in Long Island.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I came out here, and that was about 15 years ago, and man, I feel like I've been real lucky. I've done over 100 national commercials. I was on a TV series called Here Comes 40. I was on a soap. I've done a ton of independent films. So I've done a little bit of everything.
We were talking about, we were just discussing the witchcraft one with the number. Was that 12?
Yeah.
Witchcraft 12?
So it's funny. It's like Witchcraft 12 or something. So here's a funny Hollywood story.
Yeah, when the Fast and the Furious is looking at you going, fuck, you know?
Even we don't have 12 in here.
Exactly. And our movies really suck.
You take that back.
Here's what's funny. So when I first moved to LA, they had this thing called Backstage West, which was a magazine that had like sort of all these open casting calls.
Yeah.
So I went to this open casting call, and I thought it was just a normal audition. And so I was there, I auditioned, and they were like, "Yeah, man, you got the part," you know. And I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude! I did it! I booked one." Like it's so hard to book anything here. So they tell me the shoot date, whatever. I show up, I get there, and it is a Skinamax softcore porn.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, Lorno.
And so I'm sitting there, and I have this like I'm outside of the studio, and I'm sitting there on the curb, and I have this like come to Jesus moment. I'm like, do I do this or do I not? Do I just leave? Like right. I was scared. Like I didn't want anyone to think I was a bad person. But I was like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I was like, okay, fuck it. I'm going to do it. I saw this girl. Honestly, I saw this hot girl topless. And I was like, yeah.
I'm in. Where do I sign?
Where do I sign? And you're going to pay
it's like,
me?
Yeah, it's like, I should be paying you guys.
Exactly. How much do I owe you for this?
That's right. So I go in.
Hot chick, laying on me. Here's my money.
Yeah. I go in, I have this scene, this girl picks me up at the bar, she takes me back to her house, she gets on, we have sex, she ends up getting on top of me and getting topless and riding me, and then she kills me.
Oh.
And that was the whole scene. And after it was over, I never heard anything about it, I didn't know anything that was going on, and then on my IMDb page, which is, you know, like, for anybody that doesn't know, that's like the actor and producer studio website that lets you know all the credits you have. Right. I had my Jeff Pride page, which was all my legitimate stuff, and then there was this separate page that had Jeff Pride Witchcraft 12. And I was like, man, if I ever get really famous, somebody is going to find this and think that I was hiding from it. And so what I did was I was just like, you know what? I'm going to own this shit.
Own it.
You know? Like,
fucking A, own it.
I did Witchcraft 12. I had some titties in my mouth. I got killed.
Hey,
how do you not own that? Who's going to say, yeah, that wasn't me?
Yes.
Yeah, hey. Did you see this chick? She was on me. Did you see this chick? That was me.
Yeah, she was on me.
All I got to say is Stallone never hid from the Italian Stallion. Okay?
There you go.
That movie actually was something different in the beginning.
Tony,
and then when
Tony Danza didn't hide from Insatiable 2.
Oh.
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
Anyway, it wasn't originally the Italian Stallion. It was something else, and then Rocky came out, and then they changed it to the Italian Stallion. I swear to God, that's how it happened. I don't know. That's
he
what he
wasn't
told me at
always
least.
the Italian Stallion?
No, it was something completely different before, and then he did Rocky, and then they changed it to the Italian Stallion.
Everybody that's just joining us, we're talking to actor Jeff Pride and writer. That's right. So,
Yeah.
so go ahead, keep going.
If you're gifted with the nickname Italian Stallion, you do everything in your power to keep that nickname.
Oh,
yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Huh.
Yeah.
Why do they call you the Italian Stallion?
By the way,
yo, what? Look at this.
Oh, check out my
that's
dick.
why. Oh.
That's why.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll continue talking about that horror movie because like after that sort of Skinamax movie, I did a couple of horror movies also, which is like a normal progression for actors in Hollywood because
Oh yeah.
when you're young, there's like a lot of horror movies are being made. So I did a couple of horror movies that were very similar, weirdly, to the Skinamax thing. And the fans that you get, like I've only ever really gotten a few like pictures or headshots or like autograph requests, and they're all from people from the horror movies that I've ever done. So it's like a great crowd to have on your side, you know, because they love you no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, it's a lot of people start off like
so
Johnny
yeah, so-
Depp.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I remember
Yeah,
watching
tons-
Johnny
tons of
Depp
people
on
like that.
21 Jump Street back in the day,
Yeah.
you know?
Jennifer Aniston,
Yeah.
she did
Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Oh, God. There's a classic.
Uh,
I'm the leprechaun. Yeah. So how many years have you been? Again, how many years have you been acting now?
a little over 15 years.
Mm,
Yeah, 15
Wow.
years.
that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've been
I know.
staying pretty busy.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's not anything like I thought it would be like as of right now in my life, but it's because it's such a grind, and that's what people like, you know, there's like the top 1% of the, it's very similar to, I guess, what's going on with the world in the economy. Like 1% do very, very well. They're super famous. They make a ton of money.
Right.
And then everybody else kind of has to grind it out. You know, I still have to do commercials. I still do co-stars, guest stars. I still do people's web series, like whatever I can do to sort of like just work, because I honestly love to work as an actor. It's incredibly fun and amazing. It's just sort of hard sometimes to get the job and to be consistent with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talking about commercials,
Yeah.
like what commercials will we be familiar with you in?
Man, the most famous one I did was I think it was like 8 years ago now. It was a Super Bowl commercial for Michelob Ultra, and it was guys and girls playing football. And I played the quarterback, and I threw it downfield to this girl, and she caught it, and it looked like she was going for a touchdown, and a guy body slams her. And the ball falls out, and like everybody runs up to this guy, this crazy guy that was taking flag football too seriously, and was like, "Oh my God, what the fuck?" You know, like.
Yeah.
And then they cut, and then we're at the bar, and I'm sitting there talking to the guy that was too aggressive, and I was like, "Hey man, you hit her a little hard, you know?" And he's like, "Don't." He's like, "Don't step on the field." And then she comes out of nowhere and clotheslines him and knocks him off the chair. And then I sort of have the tagline of the commercial, which is, "Ooh, late hit."
That's awesome.
Nice. A Super Bowl commercial. That's pretty cool. That's better than the Super Bowl
Man, I have to
halftime
tell
show
you,
this year.
A lot of people have said this about Super Bowl commercials and stuff. Smartphones weren't quite a thing yet, and I felt like a celebrity for the first time in my life, because as the game played on the East Coast, then the Central Time Zone, then the West Coast, like my phone, it was vibrating and blowing up so rapidly. I thought it was going to blow up, because so many people were texting me at that moment, like, "Holy shit, dude, you're on TV!"
That's awesome.
30, 50 million people are watching. You know, it's like it was absolutely crazy for sure.
That's very
Nice,
cool.
nice.
That's awesome. Yeah. All right, brother, hit us with a
Yeah.
story. What do you got?
Yeah, man. So,
Yeah, man.
So here's the thing. It's like the question I ask when I'm interviewing somebody to work for us. I say, so if I call your previous employer, what are they going to say about you? Yeah, man. Here's the thing.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, good guy, but here's the real story.
Yeah.
So
Crispy
my
stroking
buddy,
Kager.
growing up in Arkansas, I went to the University of Arkansas, and I have a group, and I call them my funeral friends. I'm not trying to be morbid about it, but no matter what happens, like these 6 guys will basically be at my funeral someday, no matter what, and we'll all be at theirs. Like we still have a text thread going from college. We're all super close. So one of them was getting married. This guy Jacob, he was getting married in New Orleans, and so
Great place to get married.
Great place to get married. So we all flew down to New Orleans, and
What could go wrong at New Orleans?
What's that?
What could go wrong in New Orleans?
Yeah, nothing. So we go to the casino. We go to the first night we're there. Obviously, we're on Bourbon Street, just getting wrecked, and we go to this Harrah's Casino to gamble. And I'm playing craps, and I pull up to this craps table. Or no, sorry, it was Texas Hold'em. So I pull up to this Texas Hold'em table, and the chair next to me is empty. And there's a stack of chips. They're red chips, only $5 each, but it's probably like $200 worth of chips, and it's sitting right here next to me. And the guy, so I'm playing Texas Hold'em, and it's been a couple of hours, and I realized this guy is not coming back. And so what I do is every hand I win, I start sliding my chips just a little bit closer to this guy's stack. Okay? So, because it's New Orleans, like, fuck, the guy could have got totally wasted and not come back to the table. Like, who knows?
Yeah, could have got kicked out.
We'd be in jail right now. Who knows? They're all probable.
He may not be coming back.
Chris just said titties and trannies in New Orleans.
That's right. So I get my chips close enough to his where I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to leave the table now. So I just scoop up all the chips, including his, and I have them on my purse. Again, it's like, I think it's about $200. Not a ton of money, but, like, fuck, $200.
Yeah.
When you're 20 years old, it's a lot. So obviously, because I've been drinking, the smart thing to do if you steal chips at a casino would be to go to the cage, cash out, and leave the casino.
Right.
Well, I did not.
Oh, smart.
So I went over to this craps table, and I had my chips out there, and I'm just like rolling craps for a while. I'm doing all right. And I get this, finger on the back of my shoulder, and I turn around, and it's fucking 2 huge guys from the security punks from Harrah's Casino. And they're like, hey, you, come with me. So I'm like, oh shit. So I grab all they grab my chips for me. We go, and I swear to God, I have been drinking quite a bit, but I remember it is Harrah's took me into a padded room.
Look here, boy. We're going to have a conversation now.
They put just stacking rings on their fingers.
Yeah.
You got anything you want to tell me, boy?
That's pretty much exactly what happened. So this guy comes in, suit and tie, Harrah's, whatever, and he's basically like, "Tell us what you did." And this honestly was the best acting job I've ever had. And I'd seen those 48-hour mystery shows and those like 2020s with like the camera in the room that's on you, and so no matter what you do, I know you're being recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, I play it dumb the whole time. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he was like, just tell us, and it's okay. And I'm like, tell you what, And they're like, finally, they go, tell us you stole those chips. And I'm like, sir, I have no idea what you're talking about. So then they leave the room, okay? And I'm sitting there, and I know the camera's on me, and so I do one of these. I'm like, Jeff, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
What did you do? Think, buddy, think.
What did you do?
What could you possibly have done? I'm like fucking playing it up for the camera.
Right.
So they come back in. you know? And they're like, so here's the deal. The guy doesn't want to press charges. He just wants his money back. And luckily I was fucking doing well. I had like a lot of money, you know, and I was like, how much? And I was like peeling off the amount he needed. You know, I was like, here, take your $200 or whatever.
Oh no.
And yeah, I mean, I honestly, I was up like 400 or 500. So I was just like, here, take the 200, quit bothering me, you know? And then they go, listen, here's the deal. We want you to sign a document that says you will never come into a Harrah's affiliated casino ever again for the rest of your life. And I'm thinking, I'm like, fine, get me the fuck out of here. Like, I can walk scot-free and just, fine. You know, I was like, here, sign whatever, you know, like whatever. So I sign it. I leave the casino. It's like 2 a.m, whatever. We go have the wedding. It's totally fine. That was on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we're sitting around the hotel. We're all drinking wine, like a little hungover. And my buddies are like, hey, let's go play some Texas Hold'em at the casino.
Yeah, let's not. That's not a bad idea. That's a bad idea.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
They go, Pride, you're overblowing it. It's not that big of a deal. Just put on some sunglasses and throw on a hoodie and, you know, pretend like you're the Unabomber.
I was going to say, go all Unabomber on him. That'll help. Yeah, let's not check out the guy in the sunglasses and the hoodie walking into a fucking casino and one of the most humid things in the places on the earth.
Exactly. So I was like, yes, let's do it. So we go in, we start playing Texas Hold'em. I swear to God, I had the fucking, like, I was getting every monster hand that I could possibly get. I started out with $100. I've never had a run like this in Texas Hold'em ever in my life. I started out with $100. I was up over 1,000.
Oh.
So after I got up over 1,000, the pit boss, of course, he comes over and he says, "Hey, you, off with the sunglasses and the hood." And I'm like, oh fuck, you know. So I like do it, and the guy was like, "That's what I thought." They were like, "Boom, arrest him." So they arrested me for trespassing. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So they fucking put me in the car. They put me in this. I go to fucking jail in New Orleans.
Oh. Did you get your money back?
No, they're not going to give him his fucking money.
So that's a great question. Here's the end of the story. So I'm in the drunk take in the New Orleans Police Department. My friends show up and they're like, "No, dude, he's got to spend the night. He's got to spend the night." So I ended up sleeping that night at the jail. And then I'm leaving and I'm sort of checking out, and they go, "So you had $1,000 on you. We're going to go ahead and keep that, and that way you don't ever have to come back and see us ever again." And I'm just thinking, like, is that fucking really how it goes?
Yes. Go ahead.
This is crazy.
Go ahead and try to counter-argue the mob-owned Harrah's.
I would
okay?
think you at least get your initial deposit back.
Yeah, no. That's not how they work.
yes,
Fuck them.
Yeah. Hey, here's the good news. You still have your legs. Huh? How about that? Huh? What a
That's
great
right.
day. You can still walk. Good for you.
I wonder if
That's right.
I wonder if it's all still strict like that, like nowadays. Like if they actually have somebody who comes and fucking breaks your legs and shit if you can't pay something or whatnot.
Let's just say you don't see that fella. Chris wants,
You never hear about it because they're all dead.
Yeah. Chris wants to know if they served you gumbo in the New Orleans jail.
Man, no gumbo.
Oh,
Just
to pay.
a hole in the ground to get in.
Pricks. Not even a cheese.
Pricks.
Not even a
Man,
cheese
it was a-
sandwich. Oh, that's
Allie
good.
White has been watching, and our buddy Jason Zalatkis has been watching. He's a great actor too. I gotta get Allie on my show one of these days. But yeah, we got some people watching, which is fun. Derek Barnes,
Love it.
What's up, Barnes?
Barnesy. So we're talking to Jeff Pride. He just told us a great story about getting busted down in New Orleans for sneaking back into Harrah's after having to sign a contract saying he would never be in another Harrah's. So
I forgot one little follow-up detail that's pretty funny.
was there a
So,
hooker?
No,
Okay.
unfortunately,
Anyway,
no.
go ahead. I was guessing. I thought I was clairvoyant.
So I fly home. Obviously, I don't tell my parents or family about like sort of what happened in New Orleans.
No?
Obviously. Yeah, no. So a couple of months later, I'm talking to my dad on the phone, and he goes, "By the way, your mom and I are going out to Las Vegas. It's been a long time since we've been out to Vegas, and yeah, we're really excited. We got this really good deal at Paris." So we're gonna check into Paris and stay at the Paris, and I was like, oh my god! So Paris is a
Harrah's
hotel
own
affiliated
casino, right?
hotel. I am Jeff Pride III. My dad is Jeff Pride Jr. and my dad is Jeff Pride Sr. So I cannot even imagine my dad checking into the Paris hotel and then the police or hotel security coming and putting my mother and my dad in handcuffs and keeping them out of the casino. So I had to tell my dad. I was like, "Hey, Dad, so here's a story that happened to me while I was in New Orleans."
Funny thing, Pop.
Yeah. By the way, I did 2 days at the New Orleans Police Department. So he actually called the Paris in Las Vegas, and they were like, "No, it's fine. We don't care." But yeah, so that's the end of that story.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny.
Unbelievable. Yeah, they
That's
actually
your story.
had some really good rates down there at the local PD. you know?
Yeah. Coffee and donuts in the morning, huh? How about that?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah,
So
Yeah, no.
so how was the jail in New Orleans? I mean, it wasn't like during
Marty.
Yep. Anybody? Give me just a second.
wow. Okay. Yeah. Did it? Okay. What he's asking is, did it smell like piss and puke like Mardi Gras does?
It absolutely did. Yeah, I remember the holding cell. There was probably 20 people. One open urinal basically in the corner. It's like, yeah, good luck if you want to pee in that thing. And then ultimately, after 3 or 4 hours in there, they put me into my own sort of holding cell. Thank God.
Because you were gentle.
That was a sweet, nice boy.
We got a young feller here. He's a little fragile.
Yeah.
Put him by himself.
Yeah. He's got a real pretty face and cute lips. You might want to put him in a cell.
Well, when you're going to New Orleans, you're probably gonna get
well.
sex you don't want there anyway. So
What have we here, boy?
Oh,
You
here's
look
some-
like a
here's some
sweet
Hollywood.
young thing.
Are you done there?
Huh?
Are
Yeah.
you done there? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Stacy was asking me how we bring her in on the
Okay.
our next guest. She was asking how
Okay.
we do things.
All right.
So
Okay.
I couldn't be rude.
Yeah.
All right.
By the way, for all of our listeners, we've got like a Jason Sudeikis
Look-alike.
like doppelganger here.
Yeah.
If you ever wanted to do
Yeah.
like action scenes for Jason Sudeikis,
You could be a good stand-in.
Or we
You
know
know,
you're good at
he
we know
has
you're
a
good at
good
love
story.
scenes, so we
Yeah.
probably do one of those too.
So obviously, I get the Ted Lasso, Jason Sudeikis every single day of my life. And after he won the Golden Globes, I don't know if you guys saw it. It was on Zoom. People thought that he was drunk or stoned accepting that award, and he really gave like a very aloof, kind of crazy acceptance speech. And so many people hit me up, like going, "Oh my God, dude! Jason Sudeikis won the Golden Globes. You should see this speech. It's crazy." And they were like, "You have to do a funny video." And so I did this spoof video where I was smoking weed and getting real high,
Yeah.
and as I'm like putting down the joint, they go, "Oh, Jason Sudeikis won the Golden Globe," and I'm like, I gave this speech, and you can check it out on my Instagram if you want. It's pretty funny, man. My Instagram is @takepride_Jeff Pride.
All right. We'll
All
check
right.
that out tonight.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I only follow
Pride
like
_
models on Instagram, so
Yeah,
you're lucky.
God, that looks good. I like what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, there's a lot of that
there's
going
a
on there.
lot of stuff going on there.
Wait, what is it again? One more
Yeah.
time.
@takepride_Jeff Pride.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it had like
shit.
I put it on YouTube. It had like 8,000, 9,000 views on YouTube.
I'll
It
be-
had, I think,
I'll be right back.
25.
They can hear the music in the background that my daughter's playing. So.
Oh my God. Yeah, we're gonna copyright laws here. Come on. All right. Well, he's gone. Tell us about the TV show that you were doing.
Yeah, it ended up being a web series called Here Comes 40, and it's about 4 guys that have kind of been friends since high school, and they're all about to turn 40, and they're in different places in their life. I played the guy that was married with the kid. There was another guy that's still single and still partying and having a good time. There's another guy that is going through a divorce. And then our 4th friend was sort of a kid celebrity, and his career is not going very well anymore. And so we're all in different places in our life and trying to sort of like just navigate
Hey,
life
thanks, Chris.
about to turn 40 with sort of midlife crises. And it was a big comedy. It was very, very fun to shoot. We did 6 episodes. You can see it on, it was a Vimeo. I know Vimeo is
Yeah.
like a site where you store videos and stuff, but they actually had some original programming. It was a Vimeo original programming. That's
Okay.
what it was.
It
We
looks
did one
good.
season.
It looks really good. I was just checking it out here before we got you on. So yeah,
Oh, thanks.
I'm gonna watch that for sure.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
On
That was,
IMDb,
that was-
they've got it as fucking 40.
Fucking 40.
Oh, fucking 40. Yeah, they changed the name to fucking 40. That's right.
Sweet.
Hey, Amy.
You got time for their story?
Yeah, you got one more in you?
Yeah, man, I got one.
That's what they said in jail to him.
Yeah, man, I got one more. I mean,
I got one more.
So,
Pride.
when I was in Arkansas, right before I was about to move to LA to be an actor, the big thing at the time that was going on was reality dating game shows. There was Blind Date was like the big show. Change of Heart was a big show that was on. And my buddy, actually the same one, Jacob, whose wedding that was, he was obsessed with these dating shows, like Singled Out on MTV.
Singled Out was the best.
was
That was
like-
my favorite.
None of them
Yeah.
are the best. None of them. Reality TV sucks. Sucks. Sucks.
Totally. So he said,
Unless you get a gig on one.
He goes, look, man. He goes, listen, Pride. Do me a favor when you move out to LA. He goes, just try to get on one of these dating game shows. So I was like, okay, man, I'll fucking try to do it. So I moved out to LA. I've been in LA for not even 6 months, and I get this Backstage West that has all the sort of castings and stuff. And it was like, do you want to be on a game show? Do you want to be on a dating game show? And I was like, sure. So the game show that I got on was this dating game show called Change of Heart. And the concept of the show was they take a couple that is not maybe doing that great in their relationship or at a crossroads, and they both go on a date with a single, and then they come back to the studio and they talk about their experience. How did it go?
Oh
What'd you guys do
yeah.
on the date?
Did Chappelle do something like that on?
He probably spoofed it. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about it.
Yeah.
So at the end, the couple
Oh, that was
has to
spouse
say
swap.
whether they want
That was
to
a
stay
spouse
with
swap.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like,
Got the cigarette. Don't ask me to go south because I don't do that.
She goes, but I
so they
shave.
basically-
I remember that.
Yeah. So I ended up going out with this girl. She was in San Diego, so we went down to San Diego. I drove down to San Diego, and they were going to do this live episode where they actually follow you around with cameras. And the girl that I was with wanted to ditch the cameras, so we ended up having fondue at this restaurant or whatever. And then
Did you fondue her?
Camera guy, we were fondue her. And she was like, look, let's tell the camera guy that we're going to this party, and then let's just go back to my place. And so I was like, yeah,
Okay.
great. So
Fucking
we tell
another
this
guy's
camera guy we're going to this
wife. I'm
party. He
fucking
goes to
another
this
guy's
party.
wife.
We ended up going to her place. We ended up, like, we fooled around. We didn't, like, have sex or anything, but, like, I ended up staying at her place and, like, having a good time with her. And then a couple weeks later, we had to come back to the studio and shoot the live show. So we're at the live show, and her boyfriend is, like, just attacking me like crazy. And so we had this joke in Arkansas where if somebody is being, like, just kind of annoying or over the top, or we don't like them, there was a running gag at the University of Arkansas. We would call that person Shane. So we would be like, oh, really, Shane? Like, shut up, get away. And people would be like, my name is not Shane, you know? And we were like, yeah, we know Shane.
Yeah, we know.
And so we're at this taping, and this guy is, like, coming at me, and I'm like, hey, Shane, take it easy, bro. Like, you just had your turn to talk. Let me talk. And by the way, I almost had sex with your girlfriend. So, like, by the way, at the end of the episode, so the boyfriend wanted to stay with his girlfriend, and the girlfriend wanted to have a change of heart, and you know, which was cool. I guess I sort of won the game show. I never really saw her again after that. But when I went back to Arkansas, I was like a legend for a couple of years because people could not believe that I called that guy Shane. On that. Yeah. Oh, man.
It's like an inside joke for
like,
Arkansas.
Really,
You got an inside joke for a state. An entire fucking state.
Yeah. It started off as a college thing, and then we would go to Little Rock. Like, we would go to Little Rock, and we went to this club one time in Little Rock, and we called this redneck guy a Shane, and he was like, don't you call me Shane. I'm not a Shane. Don't you dare call me Shane. We were like, how do you know what that means? He's like, I know what that means. And we were like, what?
It's probably in the Urban Dictionary now.
Or at least in Little Rock.
Yeah.
It's penciled in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Shane.
Yeah.
To demean someone by calling them another name.
One of my friends was on that
Yeah.
I Want to Marry Harry show where the guy, like, acted like he was Prince Harry or whatever. I think the show got canceled. It was on for I don't know, like 6 or 7 episodes, and it got canceled. But she was off in, like, episode 4, but she would just go out and she would get tanked, like, every day. And, like, they're, day drinker, night drinker, she'd get tanked, and then everyone's, like, doing their separate interviews, like, Maggie has a drinking problem. And then they go to Maggie, and Maggie's like, people from my town drink like this. She's like, it's normal. I'm like, yes! Like, repping the IV.
Doing my joke. I do not have a problem drinking. Why do people keep telling me this? Fuck, haven't you seen me? I've got no problem at all.
There's nothing
talked
greater
about
than
this.
having a reality show than there's nothing greater than having a reality TV than alcohol, honestly. Like,
Oh,
you gotta
yeah.
have it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nothing like a camera and the removal of inhibition. Hey, what could go wrong?
They should have did more drinking in Room
Exactly.
Raiders. That was another one. Room Raiders. That was
Room
that was a
Raiders.
good one. Remember that one on MTV?
I don't remember that one.
Where
What
they
was
would
that
go
about?
like the girl, there'd be like three dudes. They'd kidnap them like out of their rooms, like they're still living with their parents and shit. And then the girl would go to their house and like inspect everything, and like they pull out like the black light and check all your semen stains and stuff.
Wow, okay.
And then she chose the guy without looks, just based on how their
on
room
his,
looked.
on his semen.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah, let's bring it back.
No, I did see this. The only Saturday Night Live skit that's been funny in the last year was the one where they had the three guys living together and they redid their room, and it was just like, well, we took out everything and just put plain white walls, like 2 gaming chairs and some like superhero figurines up on a shelf. They're like, yes, I fucking love it, man.
That's weird.
Well, we got rid of all the color in this room and just made it all white. So,
They do now.
all right. Well, you've got the floor again. Tell us all about you.
I can give you one last story. I'd rather give
Oh,
one last.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I wanna hear it.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great. So one other Hollywood story. So in this time when I was just moved to LA, and I was getting the auditions out of this Backstage West magazine. I guess shout out to Backstage West today. One of the other castings that I sort of signed up for was I always growing up, like I kind of loved. I was never really sick, but when I was, I loved sick days because I would sit at home and I would watch all the game shows like Press Your Luck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like Sale of the Century, Price is Right. Like
Dude, I was laid off and my car broke down and I lived out in the middle of nowhere. And so I was basically a captive in my own home the entire winter watching nothing but Press Your Luck. And then we had 3 channels. So after that shit was over, I had soap operas. That's
Oh my
it.
God.
I could actually sing tampon commercials in my head. So ain't nobody's business. Hey, ain't nobody's business. So anyway, go on about the game. I go back to work. I'm working with sheet metal. I'm holding up these giant metal legs and putting it, I'm like singing in my head, ain't nobody's business. It's a fucking tampon commercial. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
So I always wanted to be on a game show, and one of these castings was for like, hey, we want people that want to be on a game show. So I was like, yes, I want to be on a game show. So I went for this sort of interview, whatever, and then I got on this game show, and the game show was called Card Sharks.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was doing it? Who was doing it then? Was it Bowser from Bow Wow Wow or from Sha Na Na, or who was doing it back then?
It was a Pat. I cannot remember his name. He was an older white guy that had been doing a ton of.
Oh, okay.
game shows.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, Tammy Anderson was the girl, like the beautiful girl that was like, and she was on a reality show. I think she was the one flipping over the cards or whatever. So when we went to the interview, they told us on this show, and like, you know, I'm an actor, and so they were like, look, you cannot be an actor and be on the game show. You have to create, like, just come up with some sort of person, you know, and like, you either want the audience to like you or you want the audience to hate you. And so I was like, well, everybody wants the audience to like them. So I'm going to be a retired internet tycoon and that people hate. And so that was sort of the thing that I told them. I was like, so I'm retired at 23. I made a lot of money on .com.
I'm a millionaire and I own several midgets. Wait, what? Boo!
So I get on, and it was so surreal for me. I'm in the first round of this game. I'm just saying higher or lower, and I beat this woman. Okay, so then I'm backstage, and then I'm watching these 2 other contestants, and this little short woman, let's call her Angela, she wins, and so I'm in the final round to play Angela, and so Angela wins. I win the first one. Angela wins the second one, and then the Pat, the host, comes over and he's like, "So, Jeff, it says you're a retired internet tycoon that lives in Little Rock, Arkansas. What are you gonna do with the money?" And I was like, "Yeah, my Benz needs new rims, yo."
Put it towards my human trafficking.
That's the first thing that came to mind. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Thing that can come out of my mouth ultimately.
Maybe I'll go to
And so-
Macy's this weekend or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then they go over and they ask Angela. They were like, "Well, Angela,
Buy a
what are
gold
you-
toothbrush.
Yeah. What are you going to do with the money?" And she goes, "Well, I'm playing. All my money is going towards muscular dystrophy." And I was just like,
Oh!
"Oh my god!"
Fuck you, Angela.
I'm like-
Fuck you, Angela.
Good news.
Yeah.
They do hate you now. They really hate
Yeah.
you now.
Yeah. So the audience starts booing me essentially. And so here's what happened in the final game. So I'm kind of winning the whole game. We get to the second to last card, and it's like I think it was a jack, and I was like, well, lower than a jack, and a queen pops up on the thing. And so she only has to say higher or lower on a queen to go to the bonus round to try to win the money. And so I'm like, fuck, god damn, I fucking lost. You know? And so she says lower than a queen, and holy shit, a fucking king turns up on the board.
Oh,
And so I end up winning and going to the bonus round.
you the fuckbag that's gonna throw some rims on his Benz.
Yes. Yes. Oh, man.
Hey.
He's going to get a suite at the Bellagio. Man.
Like tough shit, chick.
Yes. Sorry, Angela. Good luck
Sorry
with
about the muscular
dystrophy.
dystrophy peoples, but I get some new rims. Gosh.
Man.
Natural
So I
selection is
go-
what I call it.
That's right. So I go to the bonus round, and basically, in the bonus round, you're just doing higher, lower also.
Right.
So long story short, I end up winning $11,700 on this game show.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so surreal. Like, they start spinning you around in this thing, and so like, and behind you on this board is flashing $11,700, and like Pat Bullock, I think was his name or whatever, he comes over to meet me, and then Tammy Anderson comes over. I'm like, shaking their hands. I'm like, I can't believe I won $11,700 on this game show. So, I'm an actor. I've been in Los Angeles for about 2 months, and I have $11,700 to my name. And
As being literally being a human fuckbag. Like just being the worst
Yeah.
human being.
yeah,
Here's $11,000. Not saying you didn't earn it by guessing the right cards, but
totally. So that I probably could have not worked for a full year or like 8 months in LA. And, like,
I'm no mathematician
Yeah,
or anything, but
tried to pursue acting or whatever, but I just thought, I'll get a TV series, I'll get some movies, I'm gonna be fine. What should I do with the $11,700? Should I save it? No, I'm gonna spend it. So I went to Fry's Electronics, and I got a 65-inch widescreen high definition television. It was the most expensive one they had. It was $5,500.
wow.
I was like, roll that shit into my apartment. So they fucking brought me that thing. At the time, I was driving let's see, what year was that? So that was like 2001. So I was driving a 1998 like Honda Accord. I sold that Honda Accord for $10,000. So I had $10,000 and another like $6,000. I found this Land Rover in Arizona for $16,000. So me and my buddy, we flew to Scottsdale, Arizona. I bought this Land Rover it was a black Land Rover with dual sunroofs. We fucking drove right to Vegas. We road popped all the way there. We got a fucking cooler in the back. We drunk and drove. I'm not proud of it, but I did it.
I would be.
We got to Vegas and we like blew it out in Vegas. And that's what I did with my $11,000.
That's awesome. Hey, well spent. And I love how you just said, I understood what you said, road pop, because you guys call it pop down there. Up here, we call it
Road
soda.
sodies.
So we call it road sody.
Yeah, road sodies.
But
Road
that's not
sody.
something you hear, like, when you go to the East Coast. You don't hear, like, they don't say road sody. They're, like, drinking and driving.
And Jesse Schwarber of the Field of Screams podcast is watching. He's also a stand-up comedian, everybody. We're talking to, once again, Jeff Pride. Jeff, you do have the floor. I do got to wrap this one up because I got another one after you. So with the
I
lovely...
can tell Jeff's got a lot more stories.
I know,
to tell,
and he's
so.
definitely going to be back on. With the lovely Stacy Toy. So you've got the floor again. Tell us all about you, and then I'll wrap it up. Stay on the line. We're going to talk to you for just a couple minutes after we wrap all this up. But you got the floor. Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay, yeah. I'll just say like where to find me on social media if you want to connect. And like again, my Instagram is at Take Pride.
I'd love to connect with you, Jeff.
Jeff Pride. And I'm at Jeff Pride on Twitter. So if you want to talk that way, we certainly can. Yeah, man, that's kind of all I have, honestly. Yeah, I'm just writing and trying to produce a few things and trying to get some acting work and enjoying California, man, honestly.
All right. And if you haven't caught Witchcraft 12,
12.
absolutely do that.
You might find it at the last
You'll
Blockbuster.
get to see a nice set of titties, you know. So at the last Blockbuster, I just watched it on Netflix. So, all right, everybody, you know where to find us. You can find us on every platform, and the device is in your hand. Do me a big favor. Hey, go to iTunes or Apple Podcasts and rate and review us. Leave a comment. Either you like us or you fucking hate us. Either way, leave a comment. It helps us out. It really, really helps us out. Move up higher in the numbers where more people start watching us. So just keep doing it every fucking time. Also, go to God damn it. Also, send us money on patreon.com and My Worst Holiday. Subscribe. And with that being said, from a room next to my bathroom in my basement, this has been My Worst Holiday.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.